Okay, hello. Okay, good evening. This is Gaming McFitness. I am going to use the treadmill today with Zwift. I haven't used the treadmill in quite a while because the Omni treadmill is funner by far. But I did the rowing machine 2 days ago and my back was fine. But then I did the Omni treadmill for like 4 or 5 hours, and then afterwards my back was killing me, and it's still quite sore. And I think I did 5 hours on the Omni treadmill before with no back problems. If I don't row the day before. But if I weaken my back muscles from rowing, I don't think I can. After twice in a row I did that. I rowed and then I did the Omni treadmill the next day, and then my back was killing me. So I think I need to do either a total rest day after I use the rowing machine, or I need to use a normal treadmill the next day, because I don't think this will bother my back at all. Plus I think I'm sort of low on, I need to use the treadmill more because I think my cardio has weakened using the Omni treadmill, just because I don't get my heart rate up that much. It's not as that much exercise as a normal treadmill, not even close. I end up going between like half a mile and 2 miles in like 2 to 5 hours on the Omni treadmill, because it's all start and stop depending on what video game you're playing. And so, I mean, just standing up and lightly walking for 5 hours is somewhat of a workout, but not a great cardio workout, I would say. The rowing machine is pretty good cardio, but it's not. I think it's more of a muscle workout, and your muscles get tired before your cardio, before you get out of breath. Whereas with a treadmill or a bicycle, I think cardio is the limiting factor. I don't have my bicycle here. I have it at my sister's house, 3-hour drive away, where my workshop is for building these gaming controllers. Actually, so I'm using Zwift right now, which is just a virtual running and cycling world. I actually canceled the subscription because I don't use the bicycling enough to warrant paying the $10 or $15 a month. And running is free in Zwift. So I think even without a subscription, I think I can bicycle like once a month before I run out of free minutes without a subscription. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just do it once a month or less to save money. And when I'm flush with cash, I will sign back up again to support the company, but that's not now. I probably paid them a couple $100 in subscription fees over the last couple years. So they're not. I have supported the company. So I don't feel bad for not supporting them when I don't have as much money to spend. I canceled all my subscription services, the Netflixes, the Hulus, and whatnot. I do still have Amazon Prime, and I bought the season of Rick and Morty and the season of CSI because I figured it was cheaper to buy the season than to pay for the monthly subscription for the channel, whatever channel it's on. And when I go to my sister's house, tomorrow actually I'm going to work on my fitness projects, and I have to help my mom pull her dock out of a lake. I can watch their streaming stuff, so I don't need to pay for it. But if something goes on sale through Prime Day next week, like 99 cents for 3 months for Stars or something, I'll probably get that. But as of right now, I canceled everything except Amazon Prime. I have this annoying thing where so I do a podcast about silly inventions, and I signed up for Adobe Stock to get stock images for creating thumbnails for my podcast, like to show like a conception of the invention idea. So I just combine mostly clip art like images in a way that conveys the idea, because I don't really know how to draw. So like an example would be that I wanted a apocalypse tiny house, like a tiny house on wheels made out of metal with like flamethrowers on it and stuff. So I could combine clip art of certain things to make that thumbnail. So anyway, the subscription to Adobe Stock is $30 a month. And as soon as you cancel for like 10 stock images, so it's like $3 per stock image, and I have like at least 100 and I think they cap it how many you can queue up, like 100 or 120 stock images queued up that I can buy. But if I cancel, all of them go away. So what I need to do at some point, because I haven't even been creating the thumbnails because I've been lazy for like 6 months. So in order to cancel that $30 subscription, I have to go through for hours and just go on a buying spree of stock images that might relate to the podcast. But normally what I would do if I wanted to create a thumbnail is I would, depending on how certain I was of how the image would turn out, I would download the image like with a watermark on it for free and see if I could start making the image how I wanted it to convey my invention idea. And then if it worked, I would pay for the image and get the watermark off of it. But then if it didn't work, I'd just try something else. So it was like this time-consuming thing. Whereas if I want to just grab a bunch of images to use up my queued stock image thing so I could cancel the subscription, I'll end up buying a lot of shit that I would never use because it doesn't work, or I decide to creatively go a different direction once I start messing with it. So that kind of sucks. So I've been putting off canceling that $30 a month subscription for so long. But maybe this week because I was trying to, when I'm at my sister's house, I was rushing to finally finish my rowing machine game controller, which I streamed in the past few weeks. It is working. It is, the first build of it is finished, and I'm really proud of it. But now that it's finished, I do want to make a few tweaks to it since I've been using it. Things that I like or didn't like about it. So I'm going to take pieces of it back to my sister's house and modify them in the workshop that I have there. But that's not a high priority task. So maybe I could use my time instead to finally cancel that Adobe stock image, spend all the money on those images and cancel it. The other thing with the DALL-E, the AI generated images, I tried a older version of that, but not a new version. And if that's good enough to AI generate images to convey my silly invention idea, I don't need to pay it for free. I don't need to pay for the stupid overpriced Adobe stock subscription. But the only reason I paid for it, the other thing is it's like half of the images that I use to create thumbnails for my invention ideas are from like free sites, like Pixabay is one of them, or they're not protected by copyright. They're like open use. But it seems like almost every image that I wanted to build, like every invention idea that I wanted to convey, I could never find all of the things that I wanted from the free sites. There were always pieces of it missing that I'd find on Adobe stock. It might even be the same way with the AI thing. It'll be a starting point for an image, and then I'll have to go to Adobe stock to finish it off. And there might be one other one that's a paid stock art site that's as good as Adobe, but most of them that I looked at like a couple years ago were vastly inferior selection. Like, I wouldn't find what I wanted there, but I would way more often on Adobe stock. But it's so damn expensive. And I don't even subscribe. I don't even have Adobe tool subscription anymore, like Adobe Photoshop. I switched to I paid, I think, between $50 and $100 for Affinity Designer, and I love it. It works for all that I need it for, which is pretty simple stuff. And then I use Blackmagic for video. I use Blackmagic, whatever it's called, the free software for video editing. Actually, the HDMI switcher device that I use for streaming is the same company, Blackmagic. It's a good company, although I did, like years ago, I bought a Blackmagic recording thing for my iMac, like a video recording or converting or something, little device that was like 1 inch by 3 inches wide. The thing didn't work at all. But all the newer Blackmagic in the streaming device, the ATEM Mini that I use, Blackmagic, the first one I ordered didn't work, and I had to take it back and get another one. And I've been using that one successfully for over a year. So yeah, decent company, not perfect. Blackmagic, definitely better than Adobe as far as price. I don't. I modified this to show the chat window, which took me a while because I wasn't configured for that. Actually, I don't remember if I updated the weight. My weight. So I was down to 227, but I think I gained a pound or two. So I don't remember if I put 228 or 229 on the thing on the bottom of the screen. 229. It's part of the reason why I wanted to work out today. I went to a couple stand-up comedy things and ordered food. And so, and I ate a couple things I shouldn't have at home. Also, I think I gained a little weight back. I'm thinking about buying one of those storage sheds, like Home Depot storage sheds. Like a small one that you can like put together yourself, or maybe with one other person. Like a 10-foot by 8-foot or something. Like, you don't need to get a permit for them. You don't need to build a... I've asked some friends about, do I need to pour a foundation, like a concrete floor underneath them? And one said yes and one said no. But I'm not going to do that. I don't think it's necessary at all for a tiny storage shed like that. And I think it'd be a pain in the ass to have that in my sister's yard. Like, to have to deal with if we decide to get rid of the shed. Now I've got to break up this concrete chunk. So I think I'm just going to put it on like patio stones on the four corners. And then I'm going to buy like some stakes. Like I saw some on Amazon, like a sort of extra heavy duty tent stakes to attach it to the ground. And I think that'll be good enough. Some of them have like they don't have a floor, but they have metal cross beams along the floor for added support. And if I get one of those, I can attach the stakes to the cross beams, and then I can just put like the four corners on patio stones, or maybe even like cover it underneath the whole thing with patio stones, and then just put like a piece of plywood for the floor. I think people overthink those little Home Depot sheds. You don't need to treat it like a barn or like a mini garage and pour a foundation and all that shit. I think you just need to, depending on what you're doing, but you just need to attach it enough that it doesn't blow away in the wind. So I think if I attached it to the ground with tent stakes, and then if I put the plywood floor, and then I can put a bunch of like things of like dirt and salt, like bags of heavy things, maybe some of my free weights, like in the corners, like weightlifting weights. I think that'll be enough. What was that? I can't see that. I hit a mile and I must have got some sort of reward for like using Zwift a lot. Zwift is pretty boring when you're walking. It's a lot better when you're cycling and the scenery is going by. faster. I could have tried to play a video game with these controls here, but I haven't found a good game for it. I beat a couple mini, independent games, Vanishing of Ethan Carter. One was called Call of the Sea. One was called Firewatch. And I tried Alan Wake, which is a little bit more challenging. I don't think I could do it when I'm walking on the treadmill. It's too difficult. And I tried one called Zorro the Chronicles, which is like a little hack and slash sort of little kiddie type game. It's like not very RPG difficult, but I got about a third of the way through the game and it's getting too hard. Even that, a lot of being able, you have to jump in the right direction really quickly and whatnot. Otherwise you get swarmed by enemies, and it's too hard to do when you're walking and trying not to fall on the treadmill. I did buy a game called, what's it called? Lake. It's like a non-violent RPG where you go around and help the community. It's not point and click. It is like an RPG where you can wander around and do stuff. I thought it was a unique take on an RPG. Because some of the best RPG quests are like in Fallout 4, the helping the robots with the ship that's stuck on the top of the building, or helping the kid find the cat. It's like some of the quests that are emotionally fulfilling. I sound like a nerd saying that, but as opposed to just shooting everything in a spot or gathering a piece of loot and then going back to where you came from to drop it off. Those are some of the best quests. So hypothetically, you could create a good game without any violence at all if you just were original enough and smart enough with the what the quests are. They're challenging. They're different. Lots of variety. So I'm hoping that's what that lake is. What Remains of Edith Finch would be a perfect example of that. Just unique game that's not a shoot 'em up. And there are some semi-challenging parts, but they're not so challenging that I couldn't play them on the treadmill without falling on my ass. But I hadn't installed that, and I didn't check if the music was copyrighted, and I wasn't prepared to play that today. I have a poker game in a half hour, so I didn't have time to figure that out. So I'm just doing Zwift instead of playing a game with the controls. The controls do work on this. If you go to Gaming McFitness on YouTube or Facebook, you can see me using it. I think they fell off of the Twitch 2-week window, so I don't think you'll be able to find it on Twitch unless I put one of the tutorial videos on there. I don't remember if I did on Twitch, like an archived clip. So the rowing machine game controller that I built, I had it so that my four fingers, excluding my thumb, would pull the rower, and the thumb would control all the controls. But some of the games, I found out when I actually tried using it, some of the games require you to use thumbs and index finger at the same time. And so I'd have to sort of stop rowing and bend my arm to do it. And so what I think I'm going to try to do this week at my workshop is move the trigger button to the back of the rowing handle so I can press it with my index finger. Because I think I'm hoping that, like Assassin's Creed, like the game that I was playing, you have to press the trigger along with other buttons at the same time. Like trigger and then the arrows, the both thumbsticks, and to shoot the bow in Assassin's Creed, you need both triggers pressed, and you need to use one of the thumbsticks. All three at the same time. But I don't think you need to use anything like with the bumpers and the other buttons at the same time. I think all of the combinations have to do with the trigger, at least for that game. So if I move the trigger to be pressed by the index finger, that makes it easier to, so I'm rowing with the four fingers and using the thumbs to do most of the controls, but I can move the one finger, index finger, over a little bit to press the button. I think that'll work. So I think I'll have to move it over, like move the index finger to the inside of the handle, not like up and down like a normal controller. But it would make it hard to have two buttons pressed by the index finger, the bumper and the trigger. I don't think it would be easy to reach that far, or to have to crook the finger to go up for the bumper and down for the trigger. I think it'd be really hard to do while rowing. So I think the best way to do it is to just move the trigger to the back of the controller to be pressed by the index finger, and still use the thumb for the bumper and everything else. So I'm going to try to do that. It's going to be a little difficult because of the way the wires go in the rowing handle. You'd be able to conceptualize that if you watched one of the videos of me using the rowing machine game controller. Probably easier than me talking about it here, if you're curious. But yeah, that's one thing I want to do to that to make it better. I think I'm just going to build a second handle rather than modify the one that I built in case I screw it up. I can go back to the old one. I'll have to go and buy, I think I have all the wiring stuff that I need to build a second one, but I think I'll have to go to like a Michael's craft store to buy a couple, like a wooden dowel, maybe some PVC pipe. I don't know if I'll finish that. Depends on if it works or if there's enough room in the PVC pipe to do what I want to do easily. It's one of those things that could take 2 hours or it could take 20 hours. Depending on whether the first concept works or it doesn't work. And I could reuse some of the wire harnesses without, I can swap them from the old handle to the new handle. So I won't have to remake everything. And I designed it that way on purpose to be modifiable relatively easily. We'll see how well I did making it a flexible design. Now, what else is going on? So I've been gradually building up an apocalypse stash of stuff in case the US and Russia go to nuclear war. I have some solar panels, not enough to power an entire house, but enough to charge a battery. I bought like $1,000, $1,000 to $2,000 solar generator, they call it. It's got the battery and the inverter and the voltage regulators and whatnot all in one thing. It has a 1,000-watt inverter for output, so you can't power big appliances, but you can power like a small microwave or a small George Foreman grill or a little kettle to boil water, a computer, stuff like little to moderate stuff. You can power a chest freezer with it for a few hours. Well, depending on how cold it is outside. If it was winter, you could probably power it for days if the chest freezer was out in the Michigan cold in a garage. But you couldn't power like a stand-up fridge. I think you could power the dryer but not the washer, or vice versa with 1,000 watt. If you really want to be able to power just about anything in your house, you'd need a 2,000 or 1,500 watt inverter. Like you can't power a hair dryer with 1,000 watts. You could power a small blender, but not my big Vitamax blender. And I don't remember how big the battery is, like in watt hours. It takes about a day to charge it, maybe 2 in Michigan in the summer, to charge the battery all the way with 4,000 watts of solar. So I actually have, or 400 watts of solar. I actually have 600 watt solar panels, and even though the solar generator can't take full power from 600 watts, but because like in the Michigan winter or even in the fall and the spring, you're not going to get even close to full power out of the solar panels. So I could hook up 6 of them instead of 4, and that's called over paneling, to try to get more power into it faster, even though if it was peak sun in the midsummer, you'd be putting too much power in and you could damage the battery thing. But I could measure, I could probably, even in the winter, I could probably even hook up 8 of them, 800 watts, just because you're not going to be even getting close to 400 watts or 800 watts in the Michigan winter, even at the peak sun in the midday. So yeah, I have a bunch of those things that I bought that are compatible with the 1000-watt inverter in the battery. And then I have, for the Apocalypse stash, I have a Geiger counter to read radiation. I have some potassium iodide pills, which help with one of the types of radiation, so your body doesn't absorb it when you eat. I think it's when you eat, but it doesn't help you in the immediate blast, like from that type of radiation, though, unfortunately. Yeah, and then I have some survival books and some canned food and water and stuff. My Apocalypse stash. I'm gradually building more shit. And I'm gonna move it all. I have it at my sister's house right now in a closet. But the plan is, if there's a nuclear apocalypse, to go to my mom's house instead. So I think starting next week I'm going to start moving that shit over to my mom's house. That'll give me something to do also when I'm there, because I'm not working right now. Last winter, my buddy offered me a job just before Christmas. And he said, you'll have to work long hours, like 60 hours, through Christmas break. And I said no, because I didn't need the money yet. But if he does offer me another job, I hope he's not watching, because I kind of don't want a job just yet. I'll have to seriously consider it, especially if I can work from home and I have semi-flexible hours. But yeah, my back's killing me. Well, it's getting a little better from using the rowing machine that I'm not used to using. And tomorrow I have to drive 3 hours to my mom and my sister's houses and help them take a dock out. And so that's why I'm exercising on this instead of the Omni treadmill, which is funner, because I don't want to hurt my back more, because I need to use it tomorrow. Not that I want a sore back anyway, but I wouldn't be quite as worried about aggravating my back or whatnot moderately if I didn't have to do a bunch of heavy lifting tomorrow. So I've got I'll go just a couple more minutes until I hit like 150 calories. Because I have to do a poker game. I'm going to do a poker game at 9. Yeah, the Zwift is nice. You just need like an $80-ish shoe sensor for your treadmill. And you can use a heart rate monitor or an Apple Watch, and it'll help make the calorie count better. But you don't need to. All you really need is a shoe sensor. And then you can use it with your treadmill for free. No monthly subscription. All the people going by on the bikes and the runners are real people in this Zwift. It's $80, no subscription, to do the running. Maybe 120, depending on the chip shortage and all the costs up and downs with the electronic stuff. I think I paid about $80 for it. And on my Gaming McFitness website, I have information on what the shoe sensor is. I think it's a Polar Run, it's called. you can get off of Amazon. You might be able to save a little bit if you go off of a fitness gear website versus Amazon. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. But depends on how much effort you want to put in to save $10. I usually just, unless it's like $50 cheaper, I usually just go with Amazon because it's so much more convenient. Like when I bought that A10 Mini that didn't work, the Amazon return policy is excellent. You just take it to like a UPS store. You don't have to pay to ship it back. Amazon handles the refund. So you don't have to go through a middleman, which might be, or the Amazon is the middleman, but it's a reliable middleman. You have to go through a manufacturer that could take 3 months to refund you, or try to battle against giving you your money back. Amazon is like super reliable as far as if the package gets stolen or it doesn't work, refunding you. So to me, it's worth spending. Not that I'm not being paid from Amazon to say this, but to me, it's worth spending a little more, on the order of a 10 or 20 bucks for a $100 thing, just to get it through Amazon. Not maybe Walmart. If you have a local Walmart, might be as good. But as opposed to going through like some random fitness equipment website. But yeah, I had lots of problems getting started with this fitness gaming thing and the sensors. And I found that pairing the fitness sensors to my phone worked a lot better via Bluetooth than pairing them and running Zwift on my computer. No matter where I put the computer relative to the fitness equipment, the iPhone just works better for some reason. And I mentioned that in my little tutorial video on my Gaming McFitness website. That's another thing I can start working on, is my little do a tutorial for my rowing machine game controller, like how I built it and what stuff costs and whatnot. But I can't do that all at my sister's house because the thing is here. So I could like start making the video or the webpage describing what I did, but I couldn't like finish it until I come back here and have the actual device with me. Yeah, I'm just babbling, and I was going to go until 150 calories, so I'm going to call it a day. It seems like it jumped from like 140 to 155 like all at once. Anyway, this is Gaming McFitness. Keep gaming, keep exercising. If you want to make exercise less boring, try doing both at the same time. And I have to walk over to turn it off. So my exit speech is always poorly timed here. Good night.